everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Michelle from Josie and Michelle Events. I'm an event planner and I'm here in my home in Valley Stream, Long Island.
Hello, everyone. This is Josie, also from my home in New Jersey. And we are so happy today because we're going to be talking about wedding ceremony. So we invited our good friend Nancy Vargas, who we met a few years ago through the industry. And she is one of our favorite officiants. So welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate the invitation. Michelle and Josie, you're wonderful friends of the industry, and I greatly appreciate this opportunity. Again, my name is Nancy Vargas, and I'm a bilingual wedding officiant. Today, coming to you from College Point, Queens, from my home office, and it's so wonderful to be here with you.
So today we have questions for you about everything that's changed and how it impacts ceremonies. So our first question for you today is, how do couples go about getting a marriage license during this period?
So the best way today, I would say, is go to your local city clerk marriage bureau website. That's where you're going to get all the up-to-date information. So for instance, here in New York, the best place to go is cityclerk.nyc.gov marriage bureau, and you will be able to find all the information that you need today in order to obtain a marriage license.
Can you talk to us about the actual ceremony? Does it have to be virtually, or can this be done also in person?
So this is a great question, considering that today I was able to perform a wedding ceremony at a local park here in College Point.
Oh, so, that's great news.
Yes, I'm so excited. What great timing, right?
Yes,
I'm so excited. So New York State, granted, marriage licenses remotely, and wedding officiants can perform ceremonies via Zoom or, video. In this particular case, this was a couple that already had their marriage license, and I actually had it. They were going to get married on April 3rd. They waited 13 years to get married. They have a beautiful love story. However, their venue canceled, of course, not canceled, but postponed their wedding ceremony due to the crisis. And I believe it was postponed to later on, late summer. And the groom, about 2 weeks ago, called me and said, "Nancy, I just want to marry this woman. Why should I wait until the summer? I want to marry her now. I have my marriage license."
So sweet.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. So, we had to talk about, how we were going to do this, and that, of course, we wanted to continue with the mandate of social distancing. So, we certainly did that. And they will celebrate a full-blown ceremony like they had planned it later on, this year. But today is such a glorious day in New York City. And it was a beautiful background. And, love conquers all. And I think that's the message that I had today, was that love conquers all. And no matter what's happening in the world, when you're in love and you want to get married, you can make it happen.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. And I think that's very comforting to all of our couples out there, because, sometimes I feel that people lose sight of this, but at the end of it all we're trying to do is unite ourselves to the people that we love. And that story really reflects that. My next question for you is, now looking into normal times, because fortunately we also have couples out there who are getting married, at a time that hopefully we're not so impacted by this. What are the steps that you need to take in order to prepare a couple for a ceremony?
Sure. So in normal circumstances, I take the time, generally about 2 hours or so. I have a complimentary consultation to, my couples, and we'll sit down and we'll discuss everything from what is it that they have in their mind as to what their ceremony might be like. And the funny thing is that they normally don't have that conversation prior to speaking with me. So it really, makes them understand what they both visualize as their ceremony to be. It also gives me an opportunity to learn a little bit about them, learn about their love story, their journey. And I normally take about 2 minutes of the ceremony time to share that story. And many times, if they've been dating for a long time, they really got to go back, which is really awesome. So I do, take the time to learn about the couple. I think that's very important. And along the way, they reminisce, and that's important too.
For us, and especially for Michelle, I can say, the favorite part of the wedding day is the actual ceremony. You know, we have been planning for these couples for a long time, and just being at that moment and hear what what they need to say to each other, or just having something in particular for the ceremony is what makes that moment special.
Mhm.
So I have a question for you about that. What are some things that the couples can do to plan a memorable ceremony?
So first thing, definitely be yourself. The second thing is they can bring their own elements into the ceremony. So they can do things like the unity sand or the unity candle. So with the unity sand, I talk about the blending of the two families, right? You've got the two color grains that come together. So I really focus on the blending of the families. When we do the unity candle, I've got the two taper candles and the one, center candle. So the two candles really symbolizes the two individual people that they are. And as they come together and light up the center candle, it's now two people becoming one. So, I change it up depending on what they decide to do. Those a little more traditional, but there's a lot of wine lovers out there too. So we'll do the blending of the wine, and I like that. But I really leave it up to the couple. I'm just an instrument to execute their ceremony as they wish for it to be. But I really grab on, what it is that they want, what elements they want to bring to the ceremony, and I kind of feed from that.
So continuing on this conversation of how to make these ceremonies memorable, I know that some of our couples like to write their own vows, which can be very challenging for some people, even though they know it's going to be special and they want to do it. So I would love to hear what your advice is as an officiant on that.
Sure. No, that's a really great question, and one that we touch upon every single consultation that I have. My answer is always that we can always do the traditional, vows for the formality aspect of it. But I always welcome the opportunity for them to write their own personalized vows. And it doesn't have to be in a vow format. It could just simply be speaking from the heart. I think that is the most important key thing, speaking from the heart, because no one can tell your story the way you do. Keep it short. We do only have about 30 minutes of the ceremony, and there's so many components, so many, moving parts. But the most important thing is to look at each other. Forget about the audience. Forget that they're there. Zoom into each other's eyes and just be present in the moment and tell them exactly how you feel. And it's absolutely beautiful each and every time.
What should couple keep in mind when they are hiring an officiant?
I think that couples really need to understand that making sure that the wedding officiant that you're choosing is registered and licensed in your state is a number one priority. So in my case, I'm a registered and licensed wedding officiant for the state of New York. I cannot go to Florida and marry someone, even though I've been doing this for 18 years. It just wouldn't be valid. So make sure that your wedding officiant that you're choosing is licensed and registered in the state of New York or in the state that you're getting married. The second thing I think is so important, which is connecting with that person. This is a very personal, very, emotional moment of the entire day is your ceremony. And, as young girls, we dream about this moment, right? Making sure that there's a really good connection, that they understand your story, they understand you, they want to make sure that this is not our day, this is your day. Another thing is, in my case, I'm also an ordained minister. So if someone wants a spiritual sense in their ceremony, a blessing, a prayer. They want to bring a scripture of the Bible. They want to do different things that you can do, like las arras in the Hispanic community. We have that. Very beautiful. These are things that I'll do. And so being an ordained minister, just kind of gives me that little spiritual side as well. So I would say those three things are very important when, choosing a wedding officiant.
Now, Nancy, our last question for you is easy peasy. I know that you are very active during this period and that you are able to meet with people on Zoom. So what is the best way for couples out there who want to get the planning of their ceremony started and just learn more about this? How can they get in touch with you?
Sure, thank you. So there's several platforms, couples can reach me. The first place is simply going to my website, ceremoniesbynancy.com. You can also visit me on Instagram, Ceremonies by Nancy. I do have a Wedding Wire. You can visit me on the Wedding Wire platform, Ceremonies by Nancy. You would have to look in New York, of course. Or you can email me at info@ceremoniesbynancy.com. Normally I would meet my clients, like I said earlier, face to face, but I can't tell you, Zoom has become my new best friend. So hopefully you can find me in any of those platforms.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. And I know that everybody can go to Wedding Wire and check out your reviews, but I'm just going to say it again, although Josie already said it. You are amazing. All of our brides and grooms have loved you over the years. It has been so helpful that you are very able to just do a very simple, like bilingual ceremony. I find that, I'm bilingual and I find it very challenging to try to use both languages in a setting, and you do that so smoothly, and it's really very beautiful. So thank you. Thank you for being here today.
The couples now, are going through a difficult time, but there's always time to celebrate. Good times are coming, and we know that for sure. So stick with the plan, find the ways. There's many ways to keep going with your wedding ceremonies. So God bless you all, and we'll see you soon.